Right, and Chris out of the lineup today. Is this just kind of a little bit of a reset for him?
Yeah, and I wanted to keep Iggy's bat in the lineup and didn't want to play him at shortstop today. And obviously I want to keep Nooney's bat in the lineup also. So Nooney at first and Iggy DH in today.
Dan Connolly, go ahead.
Brandon, through all of Chris's struggles over the last few years, we've always pointed to the defense and the defense being particularly good and kind of help keeping him in the lineup as he's trying to figure out things offensively. The last week or two, it seems like he's had some rough spots defensively. Are you concerned about him defensively? And, I mean, what do you do there if you are?
I thought last night's play was kind of tough, kind of a hard line drive that handcuffed him a little bit, plus runner that he, just beat him to the bag. But I didn't think that was an easy play. I think the play the night before was a play off Bruce, was a play that I think CD would admit that makes that play 99 out of 100 times. So I think he's been engaged defensively. I don't think that's a trend. I think he's still a good defender, and he helps us out defensively.
If I can follow up with that, Nunez has obviously been trying to learn first base and been working on that. Is there a defensive gap now between the two of them, or do you see them kind of as fairly even at first base?
No, I think CD's still an above-average first baseman in this league. So, yeah, Nooney's learning the position, but yeah, CD's played there for a long time and got a lot more experience.
Rich DeBroff, go ahead.
Brandon, since you've been here, you've had a look at all the projections of the team losing lots and lots of games. This morning in Baseball Reference, they had you projected as one of the wild card teams. When you see something like that, or if you do, what's your reaction to that?
You know what? I haven't seen it, and I think that we're still so early in this season, and then we have a really tough schedule the rest of the way. And I just want to really honestly focus on trying to win today and win as many series as we can. And whatever happens, happens. I'm pleased with our play so far this year. I'm proud of our guys. I think we're playing hard. I think we're playing hungry. I think our guys are improving. But we're in a tough division, and this is a tough league, and we have a tough schedule, and we're not going to back down from anybody. And we're going to continue to play hard, and we're going to see where we are at the end of this thing. But I'm not looking too far ahead.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, do you guys have any sense of how you might handle the resume game on Friday, pitching-wise?
It'll be a bullpen arm. We're in the 6th. Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, we got to play today first. I have no idea what our bullpen's going to look like tomorrow.
John Mioli, go ahead.
Brandon, to kind of follow up on what Rich was asking, even the weird circumstances of the season, if you threw all those out and a team was above 500 in August, would you consider that team a playoff contender?
I don't understand the question.
Like, there's all the weird circumstances of the season, but you've said, before that it feels like it's the middle of August, even with all that.
It feels like
it
feels mentally like it's the middle of August.
Yeah. But would a team in normal circumstances, if this was, 2022 and the world is back to normal and you guys were above 500 in August, would you consider that team a playoff contender?
I'm playing this like, what's the date today? August what? 13th? Well, how many games are we out? 2? I'm playing this like it's August 13th and we're 2 games out.
Just a reminder, if you have a question for Brandon, please put your name in the chat.
Does that answer it,
Charles. Oh, sorry.
Did that answer the question?
Skip. Go ahead, John. Finish up.
No, I was just saying kind of, but I asked it badly twice. I'm not going to give myself a third chance.
I'll try and ask one normal season, somebody like Ryan Mountcastle, for example, the determination of him coming up would be about his development versus is he better than somebody else? How would somebody like that prove worthy of bringing up now? Is it solely based on an injury, or is poor play by somebody in his way a possibility too?
I think could be any one of those things. I think we're monitoring Ryan closely in summer camp. He's on the development track, and working with him closely defensively, as well as making good swing decisions in his at-bats. It's important at this level. So we're continuing that and continuing to develop the guys that we have here and trying to win with the 28 guys that we have here on a nightly basis. So I think that there's all sorts of factors that would play into, somebody from our secondary camp coming up here.
If I could follow up real quick on that, though, in normal season, it would be if he was hitting 310 against competition.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
What would his development have to be at an alternate site?
Well, we just wanted to see him improve his defense in left field, and as well as, like I said, tighten up his strike zone discipline and judgment. And those are some things that we were emphasizing right now when he's getting daily at bats and he's getting his daily work in the outfield. And when I think that our people feel like that he's ready to play in the big leagues, then he'll get called up.
John Mioli, go ahead.
I know you're waiting for the right game circumstances for Keegan Aiken, but I can't imagine at any point in his career he's ever been in the bullpen, not with a planned schedule for 5 days, not having gotten in the game and not knowing when. Is he still doing like his regular between start routine? How is he being sustained during this?
Well, we've had to alter his routine a little bit. He came up in the Washington series as a long man, a guy that I was going to use if we needed. I want to try to get him in the correct situation. Try to take care of him as best as I possibly can or could. It hasn't happened yet, and we've been playing well. We've had the lead, and I've wanted to use other people right now. And this is the big leagues, and we're trying to win games. And so when I feel like his time to pitch, that'll be the time. But right now his routine is different in that he's not slotted in a starting spot, but he is going to pitch out of the pen for us. And I'm sure his time will be coming soon.
Dan Connolly, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, I'm going to try to tie up and go in full circle here, but it might be beating a dead horse too, so I apologize if that's the way it comes off. But to go back to Rock's question from the very beginning as far as CD is concerned, he is 3 of 7 against Arrieta. The only guy on your team who's faced him more than 2 times, the only guy on your team who's gotten hits off of him. What are you seeing in Chris right now that makes you think that besides other guys are having success right now, that might be a good time to sit him against a right-hander?
I don't put much stock into 7 at-bats over a career.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you, Brandon, and media. We'll see you after.
Nothing about Jake? Facing Arrieta. Nobody asked a question about Arrieta? Rock?
What do you got?
I thought we already did that. Oh.
Davis and Mountcastle, no Arrieta?
I know Jake loves Jake. We could talk about that.
I love Jake, but I did technically ask you a Jake question. It just had to do with Davis.
Yeah.
so technically speaking, that's a Jake question. What's your best Jake Arrieta story? I got about 30 of them. What's your best Jake Arrieta story?
Off the field or on the field?
Go off.
No, I can't do off. Listen, I told Rock on the radio, I spent 14 to 18 with him, became really good friends, and he was the best pitcher in the game in 15 and 16. No hit stuff every time out. A character off the field as well. Love that he's still wearing cut-off sleeve shirts and very tight, small Lululemon shorts around all the time. But there was he had this aura around him during those few years where when he went on the mound, we were going to win the game. And my favorite story probably is one of my special memories of him is the wild card game in Pittsburgh when he was practically unhittable. And we made the 197 games wild card game in Pittsburgh. Sea of black in the crowd. Cole against Arrieta, wild card. This was kind of our moment. We kind of came out of nowhere. And he was tweeting to fans prior to the game when they were tweeting to him, and he was telling them it wasn't going to matter. And we're just like, oh my God, he's setting himself up for getting just shelled. And he goes out and goes 9 innings shutout and gets hit. And we get in a fight. And he still does what he did. It was just, it was probably one of the coolest performances I've ever seen in just an incredibly hostile environment. And then the 16-year, he was incredible too.
In 2011, he was having a pretty good first half. He won 10 games that year, and he's standing in the hallway where we used to stand, where the lineup cards are and stuff. And it's like May or so, and he's like 3-3 or whatever. And he says, "Hey, Dan, when's the All-Star game?" And I was like, "I think July 15th." He looks at me, he goes, "Shit." I go, "What's the matter?" He goes, "Well, Britney Spears is playing wherever he was living time." He's like, "I want to take my wife, but I don't want to conflict it with the All-Star game."
He was already thinking about he's going to make the All-Star team.
He had 6 starts. And he was wondering whether he was going to have to tell his wife he couldn't go because he was pitching in the All-Star game. Piece of work.
Oh, he is awesome. I mean, awesome. It's going to be fun to see him.